Hey everybody, Star6Wars1 here, and welcome to the next Months of Key video. For this one, we're going to take a look at the Clannad movie. Now, I'm going to do this review a little differently than I usually do. Usually I have a structure of story, characters, animation, music, and personal opinions. This time we're just going to go with a completely personal opinions, and you'll see why very, very soon. We're going to start with some positive things first. And mind you, this is very, very short. The first up is the dub. Yeah, I'm praising the dub right away. Actually, no, I'm not praising the dub. This is not a good dub. This is a passable dub. Note, this is a very bad sign for the review if I'm starting off with a passable dub and I'm saying this is a good thing. Honestly, the dub itself is just meh, and I'll get into why that is in a bit, but honestly it wasn't that great a dub. There are only two performances I can really give out. The first being one of the most bizarre ones I can think of, Greg Aries as Sunahara. I think that is the only consistent role in the entire movie, and the only one I can really say did a good job. And this is Greg Aries, a person who, to some extensions of the internet, people hate this guy's roles. And he's the best performance of the dub, by far. This is not a good sign. Next up is the other voice actress, Lucy Christian. I want to point out something about Lucy Christian that I'm not sure all of you may know. Lucy Christian is my favorite voice actress. I think she does some of the best roles and is one of the best voice actresses of the business today, who does a lot of consistent roles and has a lot of good ones. Unfortunately, she also has a few stinkers, like Aloise from Black Butler 2 and Wrath from Fullmetal Alchemist. Seriously, I don't like that role. Unfortunately, this is one of the stinkers. It's not a bad role, and she does play a character she's supposed to be more familiar with. I looked that up. Apparently, this was dubbed a year after the original series. My theory might be that it could have been either bad direction or she just didn't know how to handle it. Either way, yeah, it's not that great a performance, and it's really a damn shame, quite frankly. But you get what you get. She's not a bad role, just this isn't one of her best, especially compared to the original series. Let's move on from that. Next up is something I'm not sure should be a positive thing. This movie is easy to make fun of. Seriously, when I watched this, I was watching this with my fellow Otaku Squad members, and I gotta be honest, I was having a ball with us making fun of the movie. Honestly, if I have to recommend this to any way to watch it with friends that already have watched it so you can make fun of it. Because honestly, that made this a lot more tolerable. And there is one scene towards the end of the movie that, quite frankly, could have been in the series and I would have really enjoyed. I'm not going to spoil what it is, because I might do that later, might not, who knows. But it was a scene I actually rather enjoyed. Now we get into why this is a different kind of review. The negatives are ginormous, and they cover all four of the major aspects. First up, we're going to start with the negatives in the story. It goes from slow to rushed in a matter of minutes. What do I mean by this? It skips at least half of the entirety of After Story. And, oh my god, it just feels like, why? Why did you do that? That's stupid. Also, as I've kind of hinted at before, if you're watching this alone, this is a pretty boring movie. Seriously, I couldn't get invested in anything of this movie. I was having more fun making fun of it than I was actually watching it. Quite frankly, that's not a good sign for an anime at all. It's boring as hell. But we get into the worst aspect of the anime. Its failure with drama and it feeling emotionally manipulative. Now, some people call some shows like Anohana and some of the other key anime emotionally manipulative. This feels really manipulative. Even for a key anime. Yeah, I kind of consider the key anime a little emotionally manipulative, but that's another discussion for another time. In all seriousness, this just feels forced when it comes to emotional manipulative, and it almost backfires. Where you're supposed to feel sorry for them, but for me, it just made me care about them even less. Because it's like, why? Why should I care about characters that I only grew to know? I didn't grow to care about these characters. This isn't the series. And it also hurts the drama, which honestly is a failure in and of itself. Seriously, you fracked up the story in so many ways that it's incomprehensible. I'm dead serious. It's awful. But we're not done yet. Oh no, we're just beginning. Next up is the characters. Oh boy. The characters I don't have greatly of a negative opinion on, but I don't have a very positive one. One, they feel like hollow shells of great characters. They don't feel like the Clannad characters, they just feel like empty shells of them. Which is terrible. They also lack believability. They're not believable in their roles. They just are stupid and just, ugh. And we're not even done yet. There are characters that feel very irrelevant. And sadly, yeah, that's not a lie. They feel really, really irrelevant. And that makes me sad because I liked some of the characters that felt irrelevant here. And finally with the characters, we have changing personalities unnecessarily. I'm not going to spoil who, but let's just say some characters are changed. Personalities are changed, and they are changed for the absolute worst. Moving on. Next up, we get into one of my biggest gripes with this anime, the animation. It's like the Air movie and Clannad 2 had a baby, and it just looked really weird. Because not only are the character designs awful, it's way too shiny. Oh, but it has problems of its own. Awful looking still frames that go to Akamika kill levels of bad. Awful visual effects and transition stuff that make the series look good. And the series has some kind of debatable transitions to begin with. It reuses animation, which is something that is a big complaint, especially in a movie where you're supposed to have a bit of a higher budget, where you don't need to reuse animation. Or you could have, just cut that part out, and then it would have been faster. And the frame rate's awful. Yeah, pretty much everything about the animation just fails. It looks nice, I guess, but there's no time to enjoy it. It just is bad. Also, as a final note, and this is a note from what Ninja Mushi once said, when he was watching it, he had a complaint about there were so many birds in it. And I gotta be honest, yeah, there kind of is. Like, why are there so many birds in this series? It doesn't make sense. Just is weird. But that's a nitpick, so let's just move on. Finally, it comes up as the music. Most of the soundtrack is annoying and or forgettable. I'm dead serious when I say that. It is awful. Like, The only good song was a debatably kind of bad remix of A Pair of Idiots from the original soundtrack. It's awful. But that's not the worst of it. We have singing. Okay, I want to point this out right now. In this one, Nagisa sings. I want to point out Lucy Christian's voice alone isn't bad. It is the clear, cringeworthy lyrics that are bad. Oh my god, the lyrics in this are awful and just really make it like one of those die. Please die. It's like one of those awful sing-along ones. Oh, cringeworthy singing. Overall, with very few positives to this, and a heaping stroke of negatives, this is, by far, the worst Key has ever made. And this is by far the worst Toei adaptation of the Key anime I've seen. Worse than Clannad 2. Quite frankly, this was an awfully put together movie. Even if there was many things not helping it, it's just awful movie. I don't recommend it. Unless you want to make fun of it. But even then, I really wouldn't recommend it. There are much better movies to make fun of. Watch Mars of Destruction if you want something to make fun of. Otherwise, this is an awful anime. Don't watch it. I give it a 1 out of 10. I know you probably would expect me to rage a lot more than I actually have, but quite frankly, I just don't have the effort to rage on this. I don't really think it deserves the rage. Anyways, that's all from me. This has been Star 6 Wars 1, and I'll see you guys next time.